10. It's showtime.
Okay. So I'm gonna just shorten my name to make it accommodate.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Before the Dirt Nap podcast. I am your host, Helen Brahms, the CEO and co founder of Before the Dirt Nap. It is my pleasure to be here this evening. We are on day 1104 of going live, days in a row. And if you haven't done the math, it's just over 3 years. But tonight I am super, super, super excited because I get to bring on our first guest of our new podcast series. And I've got Emmeline here. Emmeline Saavedra. Oh, I'm going to get this wrong. Saavedra.
Yeah.
Did I get that right? I got it right. Okay, so hang on. Helen needs to calm down a little bit. So Emmeline is about business. She's all about business owners and entrepreneurs. They hire her to increase conversions because most are lacking in a competitive edge, missing raving referrals and chasing clients. So she helps rapidly build trust and relationships to connect, communicate, and close more clients. And I'll tell you, she is a phenomenal connector. Bottom line, increase effectiveness and maximize financial success while creating more impact in your community. Emmy is committed to empowering others to achieve phenomenal success both in life and in business because she believes that both are tightly integrated and hold the key to living a fulfilling and joyful life. Emmy is the president and co founder of the Champions Institute, where she leads teams of expert coaches, trainers, and consultants on sales, communication, and extreme leadership. With more than 30 years, she doesn't look old enough to have this experience. With more than 30 years in the medical and dental industries and over a decade in entrepreneurship, her strengths lie in building deep relationships, elevating personal and team performance, and empowering strong leadership. Emmy, welcome to our podcast. Welcome to the Before the Dirt Nap
Eh,
podcast.
what a pleasure, Helen. Like seriously, like I am loving this, and I love you, and just so excited for you. Like
Thank
seriously,
you. I
honest.
appreciate that.
Mhm.
So, tonight we're going to be talking about manifesting and actualizing your best life now. And that all fits in with. Now, for those that don't know, our tagline is live your best life now. And anybody that we bring on as a guest is all about how to live your best life now. And it's going to be information that you need that can help you go out there and do that. So, Emmy, how would somebody get started with manifesting and actualizing their best life now?
Well, I always believe, Helen, everything starts with you, right? Like we are the source, the power is in you. I have deep faith. So I always believe that we are created in the image of the God or the being that created us, the energy that created us. So who are we not to be able to be powerful? And so, to manifest something, it takes a very abundant mindset, a very positive mindset, and above all, more than anything else, it takes a heart of gratitude, right? So if you're present to gratitude and the blessings you have, and there is nothing else, your energy is positive, your energy is clean and pure, and energy is what you put out in your clearing, in your space. So to manifest, you put it out, the right people will always show up to assist you and promote you, and the energy is magnified over and over again. And when you have that, you have the world to create the way you want it. Manifestation will lead the way to actualization, where everything gets fulfilled. And Helen, this is just perfect, right? Like your topic, living the best life. How do you do that? We start with your own personal growth and development, your own personal nurturing of yourself, your soul. And then we take it on from there.
I
Relation with
love that.
Lord, let's do it.
I especially love the part about gratitude. On the mirror in my bedroom, when I
Mhm,
wake up every morning, I look at the mirror, it has begin every day with a grateful heart.
mhm,
And one of my I am statements is I am full of gratitude.
mhm,
And so I have that in my life. And when I do my morning meditations and devotions and everything else in my journal, I write down at minimum 10 things that I am grateful for that morning.
mhm,
So I am always coming from a place of gratitude, and gratitude comes from a place of love.
mhm.
That's my belief anyway. Um, so I always believe in that, and I'm very big on the manifesting and everything else, and putting it all out there so that I know where I'm going. Having the plan, and then having the design, and then figuring out what the plan is to get to the design. So
Mm.
that's kind of where the manifestation and the gratitude and the actualization come into it. Like devotions in the morning are done with a picture of my view that I want for my log cabin. I
Hmm.
imagine myself sitting there, and I have the Calm app going with the sounds of the forests, with the birds and the insects and just the forest noises going on, so that I can immerse myself in that to help with the manifestation of it. So
Powerful. Yeah,
that's
seriously.
yeah. So how would somebody get started with doing something like that? If they want to start manifesting now, what is the best thing they can do? Do they do it as a dream board? Do they change their attitude, start journaling? What's the best way to start?
The best way to start is really have clarity. Clarity is always power. So the clearer you are with what you want in life, with the life you want to create, whatever way you want to do it, create your vision board, create an accountability partner, write in your journal, whatever it is, be very clear at what you want. And then, your thoughts will always expand. So focus on your thoughts, on the qualities and the virtues you want to create in your life, the things you want to have, the people you want to be with, the kind of lifestyle you want, right? The things you want to have to make your life actually very comfortable and happy above all. These are things to make you joyful and happy. And I will always say, Helen, when your intentions are about serving other people, to bless and give to others, the universe will always conspire to make it really happen for you in the soonest time possible that you cannot even imagine with your human mind how it could happen. So everything starts with your own power, your clarity with yourself, what you can put in and make it visible, what is existent you can work on and dream on and create, right? So it's always that. So clarity is power multiplied. Mm-hmm.
Clarity is kind of really cool. I love clarity. I mean, for years I knew what the outside of my log cabin would look like. I could never find a picture of it. I didn't know what the inside was going to look like. And then one day I'm flipping through a magazine and there was my cabin.
Mm-hmm.
Like the outside was perfect,
Mm-hmm.
except I do have to widen the porch a little bit because I want a 10 to 12 foot, which isn't standard on log cabins. It's usually
Mm-hmm.
8. So that's the only adjustment I have to make. But it was how I'd pictured my log cabin. So even going flipping through magazines, flipping through things online, and
Mm-hmm.
um, what are some of the types of? Do you recommend any type of books or movies for people to watch that would help them with their vision or anything like that?
Mm-hmm. What I always recommend, and really it's the simplest thing that you can do for yourself and to yourself, is really go on a journey of self growth and development. Get some transformational work, right? Really go on a journey where you really dig deep into yourself, peel away the layers of why you do things, the reasons why you do things the way you do, and take on the discovery of what you don't know, what you don't know. There are many opportunities and courses out there, Helen. For me personally, I love the landmark education. So, people, you can start with the landmark forum and go on from there. And whatever it is, whatever you do in your own journey, always be aware again, always be conscious of your state of mind and state of being. Meaning to say, until you desire it, until you are willing to be vulnerable, to be really being raw and very naked with yourself, because the worst person you can really look at is yourself a lot of times. And always go in with a sense of wonder, because the moment the word no, Know, is
Mm-hmm.
really what can nail people's foot to the ground. So get rid of all your knowing, get rid of all your knowledge, but you go in there with a fresh new slate. And then consider it. What if? It's always like, what if this is really workable? What if this is really going to serve me? So the sense of wonder is always the key after you took on the conscious decision and the conscious choice of being on this journey of self-growth and development. To me, that is key. You yourself are the key. The level of your success is always proportionate to the level of growth and development that you put yourself through, right?
I like
So
that.
that is where I always want to ask people to start. Really look, what's stopping you? And a lot of times you don't really know what until you're in the class, you're hearing everybody else talk, and then you can say, "Oh my gosh, that's really who I am. So
Mm-hmm.
those are breakthrough moments that are produced from the act of actively listening and not judging anything or anybody, but looking in. That takes courage.
It does. The one thing I got challenged to do one time
Hmm.
um, was to get close up to a mirror
Hmm.
and eyeball myself
Hmm.
and get real with myself
Hmm.
and tell myself, you know, start saying my I am statements to myself, eyeball to eyeball. That's the hardest. I mean, I can look other people dead in the eye and have conversations with them, but you try and do that with yourself. That's a whole nother ball game. That
Hmm.
to me that took a lot of courage, and I kept putting it off, and I'd stand there for like 5 seconds and go, no, I can't do this, and then I'll go, I have to do this. I committed to doing this. I am accountable. I am going to do this. It took
Hmm.
me ages before I could stand there and start doing those I am statements and telling myself positive things about myself. It
Mm.
was it was hard. And sorry, I got stuff falling off my desk.
Well, Helen, I want to challenge you to something even more if you haven't done it before. May I offer you? And you can say yes or no to it.
Sure. I'm
Okay.
always up for a challenge.
So when you go to the mirror, you look at yourself, right? Like you heard the cliche, the saying, the mirror, the eyes is the window to the soul,
Hmm.
right? Our really good friend in Pick, Len Lu, taught me this yesterday. Like for you to really get in touch with your own soul, like your soul that belongs in your physicality, look at your eyes in the mirror, see yourself for 10 minutes. And let's take this further, Helen. Acknowledge your child in you of who you have become and what you've done, and really be proud of that. Speak to the child in you. Okay? And let's
Okay.
see how that goes
Challenge
with you, Helen.
accepted for 10
Yes,
minutes. I think most of last is like 3 to 5 minutes. So
10 at
I'm gonna put the
minimum.
timer on for 10 minutes and we'll see how we go.
Yes, eye to eye, right? That is really you
Oh,
talking to your
eyeball to
soul.
eyeball with yourself is like I said, I can look other people dead in the eye and have a conversation with them and look into their soul that way.
Hmm.
But when it comes to doing it to yourself in a mirror,
Hmm.
yeah, I've done
Yeah,
3 to 5 minutes.
yeah.
I will go
And
for. I'm writing it down now. 10 minutes.
mhm. And talk to
Eyeball.
you, okay? Talk to the child in you. Acknowledge the child, who you have become
Mm-hmm.
and who you are being right now, and just love that child.
Got it. Oh, challenge is accepted. I'll let you know how long it takes me to actually do it.
Well, I'll give you a prize when you say you've done it and you share with me what you got out of that exercise.
It's sort of like because I remember the first time I did it, it was like I lasted like 10 seconds, and also like I can't do this. This is tough. But because I had committed to doing it and I was accountable, I was like, damn, I've got to do this. And it took me a while just to build up to that 3 to 5 minute thing. And then every now and again, I'm sort of like, I need to give myself a self talk. So it's not just sitting here at my desk and going, okay, Helen, and trying to write it in a journal. No, it's going and standing in front of the mirror, getting eyeball to eyeball with yourself in the mirror, and having that heart to heart conversation with yourself.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's 10 minutes. Woo!
All right. Yeah, you'll I'm very excited to see what you get out of that exercise because who's to say but Helen?
Hmm. So, besides getting real with ourselves in the mirror and getting clarity and knowing what we know and becoming open to learning and open to being active listeners, what else can we do to help with this manifesting and actualizing our best life now?
Oh yeah. Really, really great because after you do your self work on your growth and development, what there is really reach out and grab the tools now. Get the tools that will help you create that life, mold your life, sharpen your saw, is what I mean, right? Is what I'm saying. And so get those resources. And your heart, you will know which ones resonate with you. The key point is to resonate. There's so many resources out there, Helen. There's
Mm-hmm.
so many coaches, there's so many mentors, there's so many programs and training. And this is now up to you and your own discernment. That is why we pray for discernment, right? The discernment to make the best choice that you can see that could serve you the best. So do your due diligence. Get whatever you need to make sure that you have the best training, not perfect, and you really get to be with the best people who can promote you and connect with you. You can feel that. You can feel the resonance. It's
Mm-hmm.
even more, it's deeper than even alignment because I can create alignment. So, how can you sense resonance? So, be there, do that for your own sake, and never, ever, ever stop learning. Really stand for yourself, and above all, Helen, which I can attribute my own growth, my own success to. And get me, I came to this country when I was 22 years old. I did not grow up here with all the privileges of the school system. I came from a third world country, but I made myself, right? You came to this country with $1,000. At that time, that was great, but how can you sustain that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But look now, like I have the life that I've never dreamed of. We have a beautiful home. We have 5 dental offices. I have a wonderful husband. And I'm doing this business at the Champions Institute as a purpose driven business to give back, to make everyone be a champion that they want to be, because now they have the tool and the people surrounding them that will help lift them up. So, going back to your question, Helen, always be discerning of who you surround yourself with, who can help promote you, and who's not just taking away from you because you don't want that energy and you can sense that, and
Mm-hmm.
build up your sense of acute intuition. We are all gifted with intuition, different from emotions. All right. So look into your feelings, but distinct from emotions. All right. So look into that. So grab hold, get the resources, get the people, and then be great, be masterful in communication. Human beings create lives and relationships through words and communication. So that is a huge favor you can do for yourself if you take on that intention. Be intentional with your, where you can see yourself be shinier and brighter and always work on yourself to be bigger and greater. And number two is to actually be masterful in communication so that you can leverage from other people's talents. So it will not be exhausting, but it will be fun, just like what we're doing here. We're having fun. And just like, let's talk and share.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. It's so much of it just resonated with me just sitting here listening to it. And I know that times I have to curtail when I'm talking with people because I know I can see that it's either the accent that they get lost in,
Mm-hmm.
because you see that glazed look just comes over their face, or I get too much into storytelling and they're just like, give me the bullet points. I want short, I want concise, I want bullet points.
Yeah.
I don't do bullet points very well. I come from a long line of storytellers. I'm sorry.
It's a personality code, right?
It is.
Like, yeah, where we teach in the Champions Institute, we teach with the 4 personality types in each of one of us human beings, and each one differently behave. Each one carries themselves differently, and each one make their buying decision differently. Meaning to say, what will make one say yes might be a turn off to the other person.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole point is get educated, get trained, so that you can be great in all of them, right?
Yes.
So
if I remember correctly, you use bank, correct? The bank.
I do use bank. I'm a certified trainer for the last 8 years. And, it just, to me, the world, we will have peace and love if we understand each other's language and speak to that. Because the moment you make it a personality and not personal, you will have love, compassion, generosity in the space. There's no judgment because understanding is key to our own exhibit of behavior and how we size up a person. There's no sizing because we're all the same. We're all 4 codes. We're just speaking differently and listening differently. And each code is beautiful in its own way, magical. All
And
right.
if I also remember correctly, you and I are both the same bank code as well, the
Yes.
NAKB, which is why we communicate so well together.
Yeah. We resonate fast, right? Naturally. And
Yeah,
think
and we didn't
about
have to think about, oh, she's an action taker, or she's a band or blueprint or a knowledge. We're just
Yeah.
both nurturers, both action
Mhm.
followed by action takers and knowledge and blueprint.
Yeah. And Helen, as you brought that up, think about it, right? How many years did it take us to get to this space and place where we are comfortable, where we are confident, where we are smooth, where we are just so mature about it, right? What if you have a 20-year-old kid who can have everything that we are doing right now? What if they have this gift with them 30 years earlier? Can you imagine what their life will be like, right?
I mean, I've got friends who've got young children. I've got one that's
Mm-hmm,
got a preteen, and
mm-hmm,
her business mind
mm-hmm,
is phenomenal.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, she's in there working her own business, and she works with her
mm-hmm,
dad,
mm-hmm,
um, and just the way that he nurtures her in that, because she's interested in it, and it's phenomenal to see that she's going. I know that she's going to go far because of what she's getting taught.
mm-hmm.
But it's and you know, people are sort of like, oh, I wish I could have done this 30 years ago. You weren't the same person 30 years ago, you know, and we're at this place in time right here right now because this is exactly where we need to be.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
people have heard me tell this story time and time again with my late husband Brad. Would always ask me if I could go back in time and change anything, would I? And I went, no. And he says, not even me getting cancer. I says, not even you getting cancer. I said, because we would not be the people we are today. We wouldn't have met the people that we have met. We wouldn't have made the friends that we have made had it not been for cancer. We had so many blessings come out of his cancer journey.
Mm-hmm.
It was just unbelievable. The people that we meet, the mentors that we were connected with. That's, you know, we met Casey during the middle of all of that. Um, and just the life that we've now created for the life I've gone on and created for myself, because one of the things he made me promise before he passed was that I would keep moving forward and I would keep following my dreams. And he knew what my dreams were because we had talked about them. We had talked about doing stuff together, like buying an RV together and going on long, you know, extended road trips. And I was just like, I took it a step further and said, I'm just going to go live in an RV. You know, just because he's not here doesn't mean to say I can't go follow that dream.
Mm-hmm.
So it's we're exactly where we need to be. We've been through the experiences we have been through in order to bring us to this place in time where we can live our best life.
Mm-hmm.
And for some people it happens earlier, and some people it happens later in life.
Mm-hmm. There's two words that can describe that, Helen, and it's not even unconditional love. It is called unconditional acceptance,
Mm-hmm.
right? And really that, and always seeing it's all a matter of having a healthy perspective and a very empowering context, right? So you can look at that journey from a whole different, disempowering place where it will never serve you and your husband. But you look at what you made of it, and you made lemonade out of the lemons. So kudos to you. You're making me hungry and thirsty.
Don't worry, I haven't had dinner yet either. So
Yeah, like my
hungry
mouth is
myself.
all like dating. Like, it becomes yummy.
Why is it we have so many analogies that relate to food?
Because food sustains us. You know, in the third world country, I grew up in the Philippines. I was brought up there. Food, eating, and visiting neighbors unannounced is just part of the social system. We socialize by food. Everywhere you go is food. And we don't need to ask and say, hey, are you open at 3 o'clock? People will just show up. It's like we're just all family and
Yep.
nobody's making anybody wrong, right?
That's awesome. I love that. I love that community feel. I love the family feel, the community feel. I love all of that. It's just an incredible feeling, and to be part of it is just amazing.
Yeah. Didn't you grow up like that too, Helen, in New Zealand?
Oh
Isn't
yeah,
that also like
family was important, and most of our vacations when we were tootling around, we would always stop and either visit a family member or friends along the way, and you know, just say, hey, we're going to be dropping in, and they'd say, oh, come for dinner instead, or it was like, yeah, no, we can't come for dinner because we've got to get to such and such a place before this particular time. They're like, oh, then come for lunch or come for afternoon tea or something like that. So yeah, it was and I always used to love when we'd have visitors come stay with us, or we'd go visit somebody. So I love visiting my grandparents. They were fun to go visit, because then I'd get in the kitchen with my grandmother, and she was a chef. Well, she was a cook in the Women's Auxiliary Air Force, and she taught me how to crack 2 eggs at once and how to do that. And we just had the best time making, I was going to say biscuits, but here in the States they call them cookies. Uh, we had the best time just cooking together with her, and it's it's those memories that you make along the way, um, and it's those influences that you have when you're growing up. And throughout life, not just when you're growing up, but throughout your life completely. It's those influences that you meet along the way that can help to guide your path into where you go and what you do. And you never know. Some people may be in your life just for an instant, but they have a major impact on your life. Yeah.
And that's why you and I, we do the best we can, and like we're committed to that, right? And the same thing, I approach business, and I really really feel like everything I have that I've actualized in my best life here and now has been attributed to the commitment to love other people and serve them and give all I can. I've been tested a lot of times, like even to the last dollar, even having to take out debts just so that I could help a family, go
Mm-hmm.
through school, create a career for themselves. There was never any question. The question had always been, so where can we get the resource next? Where can we get the funding next? Right?
Mm-hmm.
What opportunity? It's never that. And look, years later, the creator always have a way of really doubling, tripling, quadrupling everything you give out to other human
Well, it says
beings
it comes back tenfold
all the time,
all the
right?
time.
Yeah.
Yes. So
So
we are at the end. So Emmy, I want to say thank you so much for coming on our Before the Dirt Nap podcast. What
mhm.
is one parting thought that you would like to leave everybody with?
The one parting thought that I really want to invite and offer to people is always be be loving and be giving. Always give what you have, and at the same time be responsible that you don't give everything and left for nothing, because you cannot give from an empty vat. You gotta be able to be a steward of your own wealth as well, and help others make wealth, is what I mean. Give everything you can. I created the Champions Institute because it was for the stand that it's my give back. I don't mind working 60, 70 hours a week. I still do that. And my husband is an orthodontist, and ironically, he works half the time. He works 32 to 40 hours a week. And guess what? I love my life. Every day I'm lit up. That's why when you talk about best life forward, what is there in that's not best for me? And
Yes.
so, parting words, always give your best, be your best, and always see what's come to you, because what is coming to you will be beyond mind blowing. So, on that note, Helen, thank you for having me on this call, and thank you for helping me share the message, and let us cheer for the world and band together and rise together, okay?
That sounds amazing. And I am full of gratitude that you took time out of your day to come and spend it with us. And that's it for this show. We will be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. We have another guest for you guys tomorrow. So keep an eye out on the YouTube page or on my Facebook page for the invite for that one for tomorrow. Emmy, thank you again. To everybody else, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Hey, konera.
Bye. Pleasure and